I believe when I went somewhere, that if you refuse to live that place, that there's some rocks outside that can step up and take your place. So I don't know about you, but I don't have to go over there. I can praise God right here. Somebody say amen. 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 Praise the Lord.
All right. Come on, boys. Shut up.
We've been having a fantastic time in the book of Nehemiah.
Yeah.
Nehemiah truly does give you lessons in life and leadership.
Yeah. Right.
And so I'm going to try to bridge those two on today. Because even if you are not an official leader in an ordained position in the church, you are still a leader in some capacity.
That's right. Yeah.
Because even if you are not in an ordained position in the church, if nothing else, you are a leader in your home.
Right.
Y'all all right?
Yeah.
Which means that the principles that we embrace as leaders in the church are also the principles that we ought to embrace for leadership in our home.
Right.
This is why when you begin to look at the qualifications for those that are in ordained positions, it begins to talk about what's going on in your house. Y'all all right? Because you practice at home. Y'all all right? So you don't come here and start to, y'all know. And start to function as if you know what leadership looks like when you have never practiced this before. So God gives you your own little church that meets at your address for you to practice your leadership and perfect it there. That way, when you come down here to his house, come on, somebody, you have already begun to refine those skills at home so that you understand how to execute them here. Does that make sense? So when you look at Nehemiah, don't sit back and read it from a perspective that I'm not a minister, I'm not an elder, I'm not a deacon, I'm not a teacher, I'm not a this, I'm not a that. Look at it from a perspective that these principles pertain to life and leadership no matter where you are. Does that make sense? And so we started by looking at Nehemiah, the son of Hakaliah, who was a cupbearer for the king. And he had some visitors from home, which was Jerusalem. And they brought him some bad news about what was going on back home. And they told him that the gates were burned with fire, that the walls had been torn down. And so he said that not only is the place in a bad position, but as a result of that, the people are also in a bad position. Y'all with me so far? And so immediately what happened is that Nehemiah began to have a reaction to this bad news. It says that he sat and he wept and he mourned and he prayed because of the news that he had gotten. And so he did these things because he cared enough about what was going on with God's people in God's place that it moved him to the point of tears. And sometimes we really need to examine how when we see things that are not good with God's people in God's place, does it move you? Because the way that it moves you indicates how much you actually care. And so when you see that things are in disarray, when you see that things are not the way that they ought to be, do you sit back and say, that's for somebody else to worry about? Or does it bother you deep down in the core of your soul? Because when I see things within the kingdom of God, Jeremy, I go home and it's in my mind all night. In the middle of the day, I'm thinking about it. In the middle of the day, I'm texting Brother Austin saying, what can we do? Or what do you think of this? Or what do you think of that? Because I'm so invested in God's place, in God's people, that when things are not the way that they should be, it doesn't sit well with my spirit.
All right.
But after he sat and wept and mourned and prayed, he began to do something that I believe that only leaders do. He prayed in such a way that took responsibility individually and then collectively. Which means that he understood that he could not absolve himself of the problem. Oftentimes what happens is we want to talk about how it's everybody else's especially from a leadership perspective, because we always want to talk about how the people aren't doing this or how the people aren't doing that. But as long as I see myself as separate and apart from the people, I cannot address the problem. Y'all with me so far? So he says, I've sinned. My fathers have sinned. And we've sinned collectively. Father, you've made your expectations very clear. And you said that if we departed from you, that there were going to be some things that would happen. I confess that we have not done everything that we were supposed to do. I'm laying it all before you, God. So before I ask you for everything, I'm letting you know I understand that we contributed to getting ourselves in this situation. Don't get yourself in a situation. Go ask God to fix it without acknowledging your part and putting yourself there. Right. So far? It said oftentimes we get ourselves in situations and we go and we ask God to fix it without confessing the fact, God, this is my fault. I put myself here. We put ourselves in this condition, so I won't ask you to fix it until I acknowledge this is my bad. My bad, God. You made it clear that there were some expectations that you had of us. That there were some expectations that you had of me, some expectations that you had of our forefathers, and they failed. That's not disrespect to anybody. That's just acknowledgement of truth. Sometimes you just have to say, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. We aren't doing what we're supposed to be doing. And sometimes you just have to have enough honesty, integrity, and humility to say, it's my bad. It's my bad. So rather than getting all in your feelings about having to take responsibility, why don't you just go ahead, man up, woman up, accept the fact that it might be your fault that you find yourself in the situation that you're in, because until you do that, you can't fix anything. I believe that they say that one of the 12 steps is, first of all, admitting that you have a problem. Am I right about that? Is that the only way that you can do something about the problem is to admit that you actually got one. But in the church, for whatever reason, we never want to admit that we have a problem. And certainly we never want to take responsibility for the part that we play in. We have to get to a culture of confession. That we are willing to acknowledge the fact that sometimes we have contributed to our own problems. Y'all all right? So he goes through all of that. And as he prays, he asks that he would be able to find grace, God's unmerited favor, in the eyes of someone in particular. Y'all all right? Now watch this. He prays this in the fall or in the winter. But when we get to chapter number 2, he doesn't begin to address this until the spring. About 4 months has gone by, Jeremy, from the time that he asked God to give him grace, in the time that he comes into the presence, in this instance, with the king. That sometimes God is going to move at just the right time and in just the right way. And so you remember when we talked about Habakkuk a couple of weeks ago during Friends and Family Day? Remember that just because God has allowed you to receive something, sometimes it's for a future date. You just have to hold on to what God is saying until such time as a thing is going to manifest itself. So Brittany, God might have a promise for you right now. He might drop that thing in your spirit today. But just because he doesn't do what he said he was going to do today, don't give up. Because what he's giving you is to sustain you and encourage you to keep on going until he says, now you're ready to receive what I prepared for you. I'm just letting you know that it's on the way so that you keep doing what you're supposed to do. And as soon as you're ready, he's going to drop it on you.
Yes. That's a good word.
Who knows how God is trying to refine you during the waiting period? We look at Nehemiah and we assume that he was already perfectly prepared for his purpose. But sometimes God is going to let you know where you're going while he prepares you to start the journey. Y'all all right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you are not perfectly prepared for your purpose, even when you're aware of what the purpose is.
Man, come on, Stacy.
Y'all all right? look at this. So Nehemiah, cupbearer for the king, 4 months after he has been weeping, mourning, praying, is in the presence of the king on a particular day. And his countenance is such that the king takes notice, that something is not right with you. Your disposition is never like this in my presence. So, what's up with you? Because this is not sickness. This is something else. He and the king have enough of a relationship and enough of a rapport that the king can look at him and tell, what's wrong with you? I can be sitting in the back of the building. My brother sometime will get up and come to the back of the building and say, hey bro, what's wrong with you? Will you not? Because we have over 20 years of deep relationship. Amen. To the point that he can look across a room and tell by the look on my face. That's not just a tired look on my brother's face. It's something else going on with him. So I want to know what's going on with him. Y'all understand where I'm coming from? Is that the relationship is such that somebody can look at you and tell that something ain't right. That's not a tired look, that's not a frustrated look, that's just something that's going on. Look. And I need to find out what's going on. The king himself had enough of a rapport with Nehemiah that he could look at him and tell something is going on. But before Nehemiah responded, he said, I prayed to God. He told the king what was going on at home, and the king says, what do you want? I thought it was interesting that he said, what do you want and not what do you need? Yeah. And then Nehemiah says, I prayed to God, and I said, there are oftentimes moments when we can get in the way of what God is trying to do.
Yeah. A lot of times.
Because there are times when what we want is not in line with what God wants. So when somebody asks me what I want, if I'm not careful, then I respond immediately out of the abundance of my heart or my desire. When sometimes the wise thing to do is to take a breath and say a prayer. God help me to say it right today. Don't let this be about me. Let me remember my purpose. Let me not be selfish in this moment. Let me remember my people. Let me remember why I was weeping. Let me remember what I was mourning. Y'all understand where I'm coming from? Is that there are moments that you need to take to make sure that when somebody asks you what you want, that is not your flesh. That is not your spirit disconnected from the spirit that responds in that moment. Y'all all right? So then he asks for everything that he needs. I need leather. I need lumber. I need this. I need that. Because I'm going home to build. All they wanted to know was how long you were going to be gone. Whatever you need, you got. We just want to know how long you're going to be gone. Y'all all right? And but also helps us to very clearly understand that it's bigger than us. And that when we understand that it's bigger than us and that we're focused on the right things, that God will give us something too in the process of doing what he would have us to do. Amen. Does that make sense? Yeah. So here's what I want you to understand. Is that we have this ability to look at life as a Christian through rose-colored glasses.
Now, say that.
That because we're Christians, we believe that everything is always going to be easy and breezy. Come on now, somebody. Y'all do understand that sometimes that is the brand of Christianity that we celebrate.
Right.
is that as long as you get in the water, which is a whole nother conversation for a whole other day, that you're going to come up and magically all your problems are going to melt away. Come on now, somebody. And so if that is the brand of belief that you sell to people, then as soon as opposition or resistance hits, it is a shock to their system. Because they hung all of their hopes on a false brand of Christianity that we sold them for very selfish purposes. So we were concerned with running up the numbers that appear up on this board without concern for the fact that we were selling them something that does not actually exist. Because Christianity doesn't make your problems go away. Being a disciple doesn't make your problems go away. It just gives you the ability to deal with them from a different disposition. So now it's not that I don't have problems, it's just that I have problems that have purpose.
That's good.
Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, get ready for the resistance. All God's favor does, is it affirms your purpose. But what it does not do is help you avoid your problems. So just because I have an affirmed purpose doesn't mean that I can avoid problems. That's where we get messed up. Is that we believe that an affirmed purpose equals avoidance of problems. But you're still going to have problems. In case somebody sold you a brand of Christianity that caused you to believe that somehow there were not going to be problems, I'm sorry to tell you that he didn't say that you wouldn't have problems. He just said that when you were going through them, he would never leave you or forsake you. So it means that I have help for my problems. The Bible says that he's a very present help in times of what? Trouble. Right? Which means that I'm going to have trouble. But when I have trouble, I also have help. That's what this thing is about. Making sure that you actually have help in times of trouble. Y'all turn to Nehemiah chapter 2. Are you there?
Yeah.
In verse number 9, it says, then I came to the governors beyond the river. Now remember, that he knew that he was going to have to go beyond the river, which is why he asked that he has letters in hand, so that he will be able to move from one place to another without any opposition. But it says, now the king had sent captains of the army and horsemen with me. But in verse number 10, it says, when Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, heard of it, it grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel. Now watch this. You can rest assured that when you are moving in your purpose, there will always be detractors possessing a destructive disposition. When you're moving in your purpose, it is guaranteed that you are going to encounter detractors who possess a destructive disposition. Guaranteed. To put it in colloquial terms, somebody once said, haters gonna hate.
That's right. Amen.
When you are moving in your purpose, I guarantee you that there will be detractors with a destructive disposition. Meaning, haters go hate. When you are doing what you are supposed to do, you are going to absolutely, positively have people that are going to hate on you. And so if you, again, are moving through life with these rose-colored glasses on, thinking that everybody's going to like you, and everybody's going to speak well of you, and everybody's going to support you, I stopped by to let you know that you will always have detractors with a destructive disposition. Meaning, haters go hate. Right. Y'all all right? Yeah. Haters are always going to be present. Sanballat and Tobiah got all twisted up simply because they heard that somebody was coming to look out for the people of God. Y'all all right? Now watch this. Here's what's going to mess you up. Is that Sanballat and Tobiah have an interesting position in that they're not Jews, but it is said that they are what are called Yahwehs, which means that they're not of the chosen people, but they are believers to a degree. But they also mix their belief in Yahweh with the belief in other things. Come on, y'all. So that they have this diluted form of belief. So it's not God alone, but it's not that they don't believe in God, but they don't believe or worship God alone. Y'all all right?
Yeah.
So you have these people that are not in the fold, but they're close enough to be able to talk the talk. They're close enough to be able to influence and connect with you because they're Yahwehists, but they're not.
Come on.
Right.
They're Christian-ish, but they're disciple-ish, but they're. Come on now. Is that sometimes you have people that are something-ish, but they're not really that. But if you're not careful, then they're close enough to influence you because they talk like you, they walk like, oh, come on now, somebody. So sometimes you need to recognize that just because somebody's in the building doesn't mean that somebody's in the fold.
Come on.
Right? You're Christian-ish. You're disciple-ish. You're church-ish. You're believer-ish. But you're not all in like us. Watch this. Because it's only when you're all in that you weep and you mourn and you pray. So if you're not all in, then you can stand on the sideline and you can look at that situation, you can be like, just let them people be how they are. As a matter of fact, it puts me in a better position if I leave them like they are. So I'm upset that this dude even has the audacity to come look after these people. Come on now, somebody. Y'all there? So you have to recognize as a leader. Fathers, do you think, Blake, do you think that everybody is happy to see you be a faithful husband to your wife? Do you think that everybody is happy to see you be a dedicated father to your children? I promise you that there are people that are standing by, that are smiling in your face and telling you how proud they are out of this side of their mouth and out of the other side of their mouth. They're waiting for you to fail.
Say it again.
They're waiting for you to fail. Brother Austin, do you believe that every preacher in the Bay Area admires you? Even though they will call you to get their behinds out of the fire. Often my congregation is falling apart. Will you come? Will you send Stacy? Will you come teach a class? Will you come rescue us? But out of this side of the mouth, they're saying, thank you so much, bro. And out of this side of the mouth, they're saying, that nigga think he's somebody.
That's the truth.
You know where I'm coming from? So they're close enough to use you, but far enough away to talk about you in a way and try to upset whatever it is that you try to accomplish. Jeremy, do you believe that everybody supports everything that you do? They will call you to come sing at their gospel meeting. They will call you to come sing at the revival with 5 people in the audience. They will ask you to bring the praise and worship team to help to elevate the level of whatever it is that they are trying to do for their individual purposes. But as soon as you walk out of their presence, Jeremy, you're doing too much. It don't take all of that. I'm glad he got people in the building and that he promoted what we were doing. But come on, y'all understand where I'm coming from? Is that people will use you so much as they can benefit from your giftedness.
Right.
But that does not mean that they are in this thing with you. Y'all get where I'm coming from?
Right.
Everybody has some Sanballats and Tobiahs. People that are disciple-ish. People that are Christian-ish. People that are believer-ish. But they're not all in, so they're not moved by the situation the way that you and I might be. And if you're not moved, the question is, are you the Sanballat? And are you the Tobiah? Y'all all right? Leaders are always going to have people, detractors, with a destructive disposition. All they had to do was hear that something was about to happen. I hear that Austin is about to do something. I hear that he's about to hand this thing over to that young man. So let me plant some seeds in him. Why would you do that? Come on, y'all know the people do that stuff. When they don't know that if this man turned around tomorrow and said, Stacey, I've changed my mind, you know what I would do? I would still sit right there and preach my heart out every week. Y'all understand where I'm coming from? Because it's about kingdom, it ain't about him, and it ain't about me. But the people that are disciple-ish, the people that are Christian-ish, can't understand kingdom concepts and how this right here is biblical. Because it's concerned about the kingdom and not about the individuals involved.
That's right.
Y'all get it?
Yeah.
But I begin to question someone's heart. Are you just disciple-ish? Are you just Christian-ish? Are you just believer-ish? Because what is coming out of your mouth indicates that you have the disposition of a detractor. Y'all understand what I'm saying? All right, so watch this.
That's good stuff.
So what happens is, Nehemiah begins to do two things, and I'm not going to go through all of these verses, but if you look at verses 11 through 16, it says, so I came to Jerusalem and was there for 3 days. Verse number 12, and I arose in the night, and some few men with me. Neither told I any man what my God had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem. Neither was there any beast with me, save the beast I rode upon. Now look at what he does. He says all of this because he's about to go out and survey some things. He doesn't come in and immediately begin to make changes. That's leadership lesson number 1. I've been an administrator for 13 or 14 years of my healthcare career. And I never go in and immediately make changes. Ever. I come in and I sit and I watch and I observe for no less than 6 months. Sometimes up to a year before I begin to make changes. Why? Because I don't understand who or what is connected to who or what. So if I begin to make changes and I think I'm fixing this, not understanding that I'm breaking that, I think that I'm elevating the person that deserves it, only to upset the person with the influence, which, oh, come on now, somebody, which now has been my death sentence. Come on now, y'all. Because I've upset the balance. So here's the first thing that you need to do. Y'all ready? As a leader, whether in the church, on your job, or in your home, the first thing that you need to do is survey in silence. Survey in silence. Some of y'all simply talk too much. Before you can even begin to do what God has called you to do, you done picked up the phone and told the wrong person. So that before you can even get started, everybody's calling you, telling you why you shouldn't do what you're about to do. Sometimes you have to learn how to survey in silence. That way, they say, measure twice and cut once, because you've observed long enough. So not only do you survey in silence, you have to learn how to evaluate exhaustively. You survey in silence, but then you evaluate exhaustively. Which means, look at what Nehemiah did. When it talks about in that passage right there, verses 11 through 16, he went all over Jerusalem. Well, last time I went that way, this time I'm gonna go this way. So he went all around so that he could see from every possible vantage point where the weak spots were, what gate is broken down, what wall needs repairing, what place needs attention. Come on now, somebody. Is that I'm not just looking at it from far away. I don't have a turtleneck on today, so I'm not sweating as hard. But he's looking at this thing from every possible angle. Come on, y'all understand where I'm coming from? So that I understand, and I've taken the time to evaluate this from every possible angle, because I need to be able to prepare a plan. Does that make sense? So I surveyed silently. Look at what he did. It says that when he went out, he only took a few men. You can't involve everybody in your process. I've learned sometimes you get excited about what you're about to do, and you begin to talk to too many people, or you begin to talk to the wrong people. And sometimes what you mess around and do is you convey the message to somebody that you think is on your team, but you unknowingly are communicating your plan to Sanballat and Tobiah. Because remember, they're disciple-ish, they're Christian-ish, they're believer-ish, so they're close enough to where they look like, come on now somebody, they look like they might be on your team. But the reality is that they have, come on now, they have a motive all their own. So you tell the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time. Sometimes you just need to keep your stuff between you and God.
Amen. Amen.
And then when you do tell somebody, you need to talk to people that you prayed about sharing with.
Right.
Y'all get it? You survey in silence. That you evaluate exhaustively. Because that's how you prepare your plan. Y'all get it? All right, watch this. So after he does all of that, in verses 17 and 18, he comes, now look at this, let me just tell you this in verse 16 and then we'll move to 17. He reiterates the fact that he did this in silence when he says, "Yeah, I continued in the work of this wall, neither bought we any land." I'm sorry, my page flipped. Verse number 16. "And the rulers knew not whither I went, or what I did, neither had I as yet told it to the Jews, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work." So watch this. Sometimes you don't just need to keep it from the Sanballats and Tobias, but sometimes you need to keep it from everybody. Just because God gave it to me doesn't mean it's the right time for me to tell Austin. Not that I'm hiding it, but sometimes it's just not time. Just because he gave it to me don't mean that I got to pick up the phone and call Wilson. Not that I'm hiding it, but sometimes it's just not the right time. You never know how God is preparing the hearts of people to be prepared to receive what it is that you're about to do. Y'all get where I'm coming from? Because there's some things that you can suggest today that will be patently rejected. And that because of circumstances and situations, you can present it tomorrow and it'll be wholeheartedly embraced. But if you're not being wise as to the time, I don't believe in doing things fast. I believe